What's up? Happy Sunday, Bucs fans. You are watching the Bucs Report, the aftermath. One of your hosts, AJ Turn Up in the house. How y'all doing? Got my man Slick, the British guy who's always flying, always on standby. Hope y'all doing good. We are here to discuss the preseason victory for the Bucs, 13-6. Kyle Trask. Well, first off, let's give our prayers and thoughts and speedy recovery to Walford for that injury. So I hope the best for you, my man. Then also Trask, 20 for 28, 218 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Our leading rusher was Tucker for 37. Our leading receiver was Jared for 3 receptions, 84 yards. And we're going to just break down the game and, you know, the highs, the lows, and the question marks. But before all that, always tune in, check us out. And feel free to chime in, Buc fans. Remember, the season is coming. We want you to come in here and challenge us if we're right or wrong. So, but how are you, Slick?
I'm good, man. I mean, I watched the game back and see how it is, and it was a solid game by us. It was a very Coach Bowles type of game, like low scoring, on your kind of edge of the seat a little bit. Kind of reminded me a little bit too much of last year.
Yes.
But it's a preseason game, so I don't take too much stock in that. We still haven't seen like the likes of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, a good chunk of that like your Tristan Wirfs. We haven't seen Rashad White. We haven't seen Big Red in Ryan Jensen. So, and then from defensively, we haven't got Shaq Barrett in. We don't have. I didn't hear much of Yaya Diaby, which was shocking. I did not. It was very quiet day for a couple of people, but for the most part, the Buccaneers defense was just solid. Did what it needed to do. They had that fucking Milky Bar kid running around with his fucking MILF Hunter looking fucking eyes going everywhere, but his ass got fucking churned up a little bit. Pleased for Kyle Trask, if I'm honest. I don't think it makes a massive difference because it speaks volumes that Baker Mayfield didn't play. That automatically tells you that the quarterback decision's been made. Absolutely. If you were unsure, you were going to throw him into that game. That's sure that he's going to be the guy. Yeah. But we've seen Kyle Trask show that he can be a capable backup, potential starter in the league. So let's say if it doesn't go back well, and me and you both spoke about this, if Baker were to have a James Winston-esque type season where he's throwing touchdowns, but he's also throwing a lot of picks, you want to test the wind and see what you've got with this kid in Kyle Trask, who's a little bit more cautious with the ball and I suppose a little bit more caution to the wind. I was pleased in all, and the biggest winner of preseason is Trey Palmer, just because an injury's happened.
Yes.
That kind of cements him in. And not only that, he's got 2 touchdowns in 2 preseason games. You're in, son. It's done.
Yes.
You're in.
Yes, that'll be the highlight. We'll talk about him in a minute. But yes, I want to delve into the Trask analysis. I graded him a B. I was impressed that one thing I was impressed was that nice ass juke that he gave on the defender. That was actually sweet. That was Lamar Trask. I was like, Lamar Trask, is that you?
Yeah, it's patent pendant.
Yes, that was a quick ass move. He's releasing the ball quicker this game. He had some zip. Now I will say this, that I gave you my highs, but the things that are questionable, you said it before. I need to see him with more intensity. I need to see him be more precise, more pinpoint. I saw certain steps that he's taking in the right direction, absolutely. But I also need to see him take it to the next level. But in his defense, earlier in the beginning, they were doing the vanilla ass play calling. which I was.
And they will, because it's preseason, right?
It's preseason,
No
exactly.
no one's calling anything sexy. Like
No,
you might want to have a look at one or two plays that you're just like,
yeah,
I really want to see what this looks like.
yeah. But for what he could do, what he was assigned to do, he did it. I really am very happy that Canales. You can clearly see he loves bootlegs. You clearly can see he loves the play action. That is what the Bucs need, especially with the receiving core.
And you don't. And I would like to point this out to all Buccaneers fans. You don't need to have a successful run game to run play action.
Nope.
You just have to be a run happy team, because
right.
you're playing the percentages. So someone turn around to me and say, yeah, but you could, if because I said the Buccaneers last year didn't do much play action, which is a big thing about Tom Brady, right? He's all about the play action. And says, yeah, but we didn't run the football. Someone said to me, we didn't run the football very well, and I'm like, but that's not the reason why you run play action. You run play action because you're playing the percentage of they're running, not that they when a team knows that you're going to run the football, they will bite on the run. So if you run on a regular basis, so let's say you run 60% of the time, but the player on the field thinks you run it more than that just through their own mindset, because 60% seems like a lot.
Yeah.
To them, it seemed like more like 75%. So they're like, this is run. This is what they do. This is run. This looks like a run setup. So they bite on the run play, which is the whole point of play action. So you can play the percentages. You could get 1 yard a fucking carry because you're playing the run so well, you're coming down to it. You're coming down to it. You're coming down to it. And I'm sucking you in. I'm sucking you in. I'm sucking you in. I'm sucking you in. All of a sudden, over the top.
That's
so
the whole.
I'm not a believer that you need a successful run game makes it even better.
Yes.
But you got a successful run game. Now they're panicking about stopping your run game, and you're running the football a lot. That's like double whammy. Like, what the do I do? Right?
You're killing it. You're doing it slick. I'm with you. It's all about having a successful run game while using the play action. That's the icing on the cake. But the whole point is the faking. And if you have the receiving core, it doesn't matter. If they bite, now the receivers will take advantage. They're going to take advantage. And it's, as you said, muscle memory. Sometimes those guys, even if they have to second guess a play, now you have them, because now it's, oh shit, what if this is a fake? But what if it's not? Now you have them guessing. Now, what's up, Chris? Christopher Cole, how you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us. Joshua 73701, thanks. Baker QB1 just announced it already. Of course, what's the benefit of not announcing it now? It's not that we already knew that that he was going to be the quarterback, starting guy. But this was an evaluation of Trask of whether he can be the guy to be the backup, or God forbid if Baker is injured or he's incompetent, what is he going to be able to do to step up to that starting position? So this was an evaluation, and if I'm Coach Bowles, I see the positive traits of Trask. I see the improvement, the steady improvement. He is becoming more fearless. A guy like Trask, I have to realize and understand that everybody's not always gonna be the gung-ho guy when the lights come on and know how to take the game over. It takes experience and time. And with Trask, that's what I saw. I saw a lot more. I saw less hesitation. I still saw a little hesitation, but I saw it. And if he can get his deep ball to be more precise, he has a chance to be a starter in this league. The touchdown to Palmer, nice throw, but he needs to put a little more oomph on it. So next time it's just a catch where Palmer just jumps up in the air and it's a touchdown. But that was great. That was still great concentration on Palmer, and also it was still a solid throw. It wasn't awful. The best throw of Trask's night was the third quarter when they were back at their own end zone and he threw the ball to Jarrett, because that was a clean throw and it was good. He put the ump on it to where Jarrett can only catch that ball. So shout out to Trask. That's why I gave him a B.
Okay, my answer to this is, how many people have watched the original or the starting press conference of Dave Canales? What did he say? I want two guys to fight for the job. When you don't know if you're not 100% sure who your guy is, make them compete. And he said it made Drew Lock believe that he could start all the way to the end. And then when he didn't get the job, he believed that he's ready to back up. So no one takes a step off. That's why he believes it. It's a fundamental belief in his system. You may not like it. You may prefer the guy gets called tomorrow, today, whenever. But this is his system. And I believe Coach Bowles is saying, hey, you're running the offense. I will let you do what you do. And this is why they're playing this pussyfooting around kind of crap that they're doing. And we all know what the real score is. And I'm pretty sure in Seattle, they all knew it was fucking Geno Smith. The thing is, the players are different. Players don't know because they don't, until it's in black and white, there's a belief.
Yeah.
Until you are told you're not starting, you believe you can start. That's a fact. Unless you know your shit and everyone else is way better than you. But there's a belief in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the actions that the Buccaneers have made, they've made Baker way more commercially viable from a business point of view. And the fact that they did not play him at all in one game kind of indicates where they're kind of going with this. However, this is Dave Canales' show. They're giving Dave Canales full reign of the offense. This is good, in my opinion. And the reason for this is it's good for Coach Bowles. Coach Bowles was married to a fucking offensive coordinator that AJ does not like. I was indifferent about. I'm not a big fan of him. I was hoping for more, but AJ called him out from straight. What? Hey, this is the guy. The guy to my right is the president of the Get Byron Out fucking fan club. There are hats, t-shirts. I'm surprised you don't have one. You got beautiful merch, and you don't have Byron. I suppose it's kind of redundant now, isn't it? Byron Out merch. It's kind of dead, isn't it? Right. My point is. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was gonna create a petition of getting Byron the fuck out. Like, guys, get him out of Tampa by any means necessary. Excommunicate him from the state of Florida.
Seattle was when you started really hammering that home.
Yeah,
that's how you said that. That's like what, week 9.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just take the stab at Doc.
I lost confidence in him even during the Jameis era.
Like commercially on our shows and stuff, between me and you.
After
week 9, like you were like, if he doesn't show up this game, I'm not buying.
I was ready. Yeah, I was ready. I was ready after that Steelers debacle. But you're right. Week 9, I was like, if he doesn't show me anything different, I think
he gave us a fucking niblet.
Yes, in Germany.
Give me a little taste more.
Yes, and then he went back to good old Byron with that dumbass play. The fucking Brady and Brady.
Brainless Byron.
You just want the old ass. You just want a 45-year-old man to take a hit. Not even throw it to him when he's in the end zone. At least I can respect that, but you want to throw it a random ass pass to a 45-year-old man, so a 20-something-year-old guy can knock a non-athletic. You're starting quarterback out. Get the fuck he had to go. Everybody, I don't like. And then the press conference
right now.
Yeah, I'm venting. I'm PTSD. Sorry. Continue. Let's talk about the future. I'm sorry, I went off on a rant. Excuse me.
I'm trying to hook us back in. I'm hooking us back in, and I just want to say to Christopher Cole that it is more of a case of. Sorry, it was Joshua. Sorry, who did mention this. It's more of a case of this is what Dave Canales wants to do, rather than the Buccaneers don't want to name a starter. They know who their starter is, and I think the benefits they get is they got a guy who's chomping at the bit, rather than a guy going, I'm just the backup.
Amen.
And then when you're the backup in a team where you've only just been announced the backup, you're kind of, I could go in at any time. But if you hold the backup at week one preseason, and a lot of people argue with me on this. What is your drive when you're told you are not the dude and you're not even close to the dude? I mean, I'm sure maybe the dude will pop in a minute, but we'll wait for it. He's got entrance music and shit and smoke and mirrors and sparkles and shit. He will make himself present. But my point being is, if they announce it too early, the idea was they might lose a little pep and a little step. Good old Kyle Trask. He might not have had this game. This game might have been complete bullshit if he had no idea that if he generally didn't believe that he had a chance to start. He might have thought there's no chance in hell, so I may as well just fucking sit on the bench, take my clipboard, and just live life.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that, Slick. Guys, this is football. Football is all about competition, no matter what. When you tell a guy, and that's a psychological advantage and disadvantage. If I tell you, guys, Buck fans, Buck fans, and people who never played the game, or if you done anything, that this could be work too. If someone tells you that no matter what you do at this point, we're moving on to the next guy, you're just the guy who's going to sit there. What motivation will you have to strive for better? What is going to drive you to want to do something when you already know no matter what you do, that it's already set in stone for somebody else? That is not the kind of drive you want in an organization like this, especially after Brady has gone, especially after we have ride of high for 3 years. We had 3 glorious years. You want this football team to have a direction, because as of right now, the media thinks the Bucs are going to go back to being shit. They're going to go back to being a lost, undisciplined team. You want to silence those guys to say, bullshit, we got this. And Canales is coming in there with the right attitude. We've learned this in the past in the Bucs organization. When you give someone the keys to the castle and they had nothing, they didn't have to earn it, that's when the castle crumbles, because the enemy can come within, and that enemy is called ego. You don't allow these guys just to give them everything. No, you're gonna fucking work for it. Oh, you were a first round overall pick, and you're gonna be battling the 7th round guy. Let's see who's hungrier. That is what it is. I guarantee you that's why Geno Smith is the quarterback he is now, that he had last season, because he had to earn it and work for it. So shout out to Canales for that. That Trask, if Trask didn't think that, if Trask was just treated like trash, we might not have seen the game that we saw last night. I saw precision. I saw urgency. I saw him try to take it up another level. Him running I was very impressed. I wasn't used to that. Now he's just a little bit faster than Brady, but I don't blame him. But I do like this offense where we're doing a lot of bootleg again and rollouts, because now it shows that we're out of those shadows. Now, my biggest concern at first was the line, but we're gonna have to accept the fact, guys, that we might have O-line issues. But right now, take it easy. Slick just said Wirfs and all the guys didn't play. This is about Cody Mock and the rest of those guys. Gedke. Mock, I didn't see anything bad. I didn't hear anything bad about him. So when I was watching, so again, no news is good news when you're a lineman. But yes, Josh, basically the Baker shit is done. He's gonna be the starting quarterback. Buck fans, let's get ready for Minnesota. Unless we, like Dick Vermeil said about Kurt Warner, we will rally behind Baker Mayfield, and we are going to make it happen.
AJ, if you ever play football, you play football at the you played at high school level, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
A little bit high school level. Have you ever been the starter?
Nope. Nope.
But okay, where you second string?
Second to third, for the most part, third.
When you got that cool, I'm just trying to just put a light on this thing, because I'm exactly the same as you. I was second and third when I played as well. When you were playing and you're battling for that third or second spot, and there's probably times where you became the second dude, and there's times where you were the third dude. Tell me what the difference is in your own words when you got told you're the second dude.
Oh, well, everybody's different. For me, of course, I have a I don't care attitude. I'm gonna do it even though I don't care what you say. But
you're happy, yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm the second dude.
Yeah.
I've got my spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when you were the third dude, how did you feel?
Yeah, I've seen guys like you said, they could be the third guy, but them just being relevant is like, oh shit. But you're right. Yes, if I had they said you have an opportunity to make it happen. Oh yeah, I perk up. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm working extra hard.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like if you tell someone that they're if you were told you were second string, before the third. If you were told you're second string to start a camp, you might not work as hard unless you're trying to get to number one, right? Unless you're trying to get. Now, if you know number one is gonna get you're in high school, so he's got an offer. Yeah, you don't have an offer, so the chances are you're not going to start in front of him.
Nope.
And
Right.
you're trying to build this up.
Yep.
So my point being is, it's just you and that third guy fighting for a fucking spot, right?
Yep.
And you're like, I'm not having this guy fucking beat me. When he does beat you, you're like, fuck. But if you're told that he beats you from day one, what is your motivation going to camp? Now, I know there are people out here going, yeah, but you should always have that moment. You should. You've got to remember, every human being is different. Not everyone's made of it. And everyone seems to think that there's probably a shit ton of football players out there that were shunned by told too early that they weren't good enough, and they just caved and gave up.
At facts, coaches can make and break careers, Buck fans, and people who don't know the game of football. That is why
mentally weak people. I'm like, no.
Yes.
Some players are you got to look at players as on a spectrum. So from a coaching point of view, there are players I can kick the shit out of.
Yep.
If I like on the Steelers right now, if I can go and challenge Stu Edwards and Ohio Chaudhry, they will fucking pick it up by being kicked in the ass. There are other players on the team that if I kick them just as hard as the others, they may cave and may not play as well. And I know there's people out there going, oh, well, those are pussies and they're not. No, they're players, and your players are your players.
That's
you
right.
mold your coaching around your players to fit them. Yep. Dave Canales has a theory, and his philosophy is, unless I have a out-and-out stud at quarterback, I don't want to name my quarterback. I'm sure if Tom Brady was part of the camp, there's no competition.
I'm glad you said that.
We didn't know what we got. We had Kyle Trask, and we had Baker Mayfield. Yes, there's an argument one or the other one's better, but it's not by a wide margin. It's not like a Tom Brady to fucking Baker Mayfield margin. That's a fucking margin, right?
Right.
You turn around and you got Baker Mayfield and you got Tom Brady. That's a fucking margin. That's not an argument. There's not even an argument. No one in their right mind can turn around and say, well, Baker Mayfield's going to make more plays than Tom Brady. No. Shut the fuck up. Unless you saw last season.
And there's politics in everything too, and I'm glad, and just so we don't go all the way out, but yes, sometimes coaches will favor that person because there have been plenty of games. There was the games in San Fran last season. Brady was shit, but do you think that the coach is going to yank him out? Hell no. That guy is just, you don't take Tom Brady out. You don't take the GOAT out unless he's hurt or if he needs to get out himself. That's what I'm saying. And
Tom Brady. That's the real question here, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if you take Tom Brady out? Tom Brady's had a couple of his fucking drives where he's won games for us. That's a fact. That was all the last season, right? Yep. You take him out and go, all right, we need to give fucking Blaine Gabbert a shot. Blaine Gabbert plays like fucking shit and you lose the game. How much is the media going to kick the shit out of you because you took Thomas Patrick Brady Jr. out of the fucking game?
Yes, and then now you fucking with you just ruffled a lot of feathers with Brady. Like, oh, so this is how you feel after all that I've done, and because I have one bad moment, now you want to throw me away? Okay, fuck you. Now you have a true locker room. Yes, and I like to go back to what you were saying about because for me, I love competition and competing because again, like you said, when I played, there were a lot of guys that when I went to school, they were better. But you know what the funny thing was, Slick? See, I loved playing. We used to do this. Unbeknownst to the coaches, we would take that shit outside after school and do the shit. Oh man, I'm telling you, Slick, that is. If they would have recorded that instead of the shit we saw in practice, they'd have been like, you're a starter, because I wasn't bound to the rules. And that's what we're saying, guys. Sometimes coaches also can fuck you up with the schemes and things of this nature because they wanted me at that point to be East and West guy. I'm a North and South guy. So when we were doing that shit,
be East and West. Nobody. Yeah. If you're East and West, you're playing to the defense's hand.
Yeah.
Because all I can do is keep pushing you east or pushing you west. That's all I got to do.
Yeah. And I didn't have the speed. Yeah. Look, I'm not a guy who's going to run a 4-3-2. No, I'm the guy, the Nick Chubb, that will bruise and run through you. So when we were doing our little drills and our little 7-on-7s outside of practice, I was fucking people up. I was killing, but like you said, the drive. It was the drive. Of course, unfortunately, that shit didn't mean anything because nobody was paying attention enough. But the players, like you said, the players in the locker room, the people who knew it was like, yo, this guy right here can do it. But like you said, if if I knew at that point there was nothing that I can do to get to the next level, then what's the point of going out there? What is the point? Like you said, everybody's not the same. For me, I like to prove you wrong either way. I'm gonna say fuck you if
Because
you
you have
want.
that mentality.
Yeah, but most people, but you're right. Most people don't, and in the majority of the guys, when they get told that, they fumble, they crumble, and it's like, well, some people quit. Actually,
I was so fucking angry when I was put third string corner. I was so fucking angry because I'm sat there looking at me and this guy who got the second string shot. So he got he got 2 goals. So and I'm like, what the fuck does this dude have that I don't have? And you don't get told. You just see the fucking depth chart, right? And I'm like, guy's lovely, love him to pieces. He's skinnier, he's smaller than me. He can't tackle like me, but he can pick a ball off better than me. Like my hands are me personally. I'll tell you right now. There's a reason I play defense. My hands are fucking terrible. I got hands like a digital watch. No hands, no fucking hands. But I'll hit, and it wasn't until I got to play safety that people went, "Oh, you can play," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know I can fucking play. I've just been utilized the wrong way." It's like you needed corners, so you put me in corner, and it's just the way it was. But I remember seeing that depth chart and going, "The fuck, this is bullshit." And that's how I felt. And there are players out there up and down the league probably lost by a small margin because their coach favored one statistic. Oh, this guy is better at picking the ball off. Great, but can you stop the fucking run? We live in a fucking. I remember my coach turned around and "You're a run support corner." Well, we play in a league where 75% of the plays are fucking run. So why am I not starting? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the argument. But it doesn't matter. All I'm trying to say is, with people going, "Oh, if you name the starter now, it's not going to change a massive amount. He's going to get a few more reps." That's okay, right. Great. But I do like this is that the first one, sorry. If Baker isn't with the ones all week, Bowles is making the nasty with the pooch. I don't know about that too much. I think you've just got. I mean, you got to let them both play with the ones because you just don't. I mean, I get where he's coming from because he sold that Baker's the guy, and we're all sold that Baker's the guy. We know Baker's the guy, and I reckon secretly he's probably getting all the reps.
Yes,
I think because this is the next game, they can just turn around and go, "This is it. It's done." Better have the Bake with the ones all week for that chemistry. At some point, you're hurting to make the team to make a point. You're hurting the team to make.
I'm going to go in on this one, Slick. Yes and no. You have a point because you do want the chemistry and the continuation, but this is why these guys also practice. I do. And then remember, these are your starters. So they can get a lot of time. They can get that repetition a lot better than the second or third string. That's why they're your starters. That's why we love Evans so much. Evans is going to make shit happen with anybody who throws him the ball. These guys, Baker, and again, Baker, the hell with what the media says, stick to what we know in football. What does Baker do when the game is on and those lights come on? He make things happen. And you have Evans, Godwin, and we have an emerging guy in Palmer. With this roster and with the weapons, it's not going to take long for him to get things going. Our biggest concern, our biggest question mark is not the receivers, not the quarterback, not the running backs. It's the line. What is the line going to do? We are concerned. We are thinking, okay, Canales, you want to run the ball. Please, can it be more effective than that Byron bullshit? Can it be more creative than that shit? So I think that's why. And look, we don't want injuries. Guys, you got to understand. People are getting injured left and right. Wolford, unfortunately, got an injury, and the play was bad, but it wasn't super brutal. But you don't want Josh, I'll say this. What if they let their starters play next week and they play like the entire half, and God forbid Godwin goes down for the season? God forbid Baker goes down for the season. Now you want to talk about a headliner? Slick, I can literally see the media going, Bowles should be fired just for that. You don't want to take that risk when the regular season game is right around the corner, guys. We only got like 3 weeks left, and then it's the season. I have full confidence that Baker and this starting weapons with the receivers and tight ends and running backs are going to be fine. The line is just going to have to get their shit together. The line, but we don't know. For all we know, the line could be stronger than what people think. What if worse is that all-pro left tackle? We already are certain that left side
really looks like. Let's be honest, because we haven't seen 5 people line up that are starters, that are the starter, right? But just to reiterate back to what we're talking about with Joshua and what he's saying is, you got to remember the moment Baker goes away from the ones and he goes to the twos, and Kyle Trask goes, he's also gaining reps with those guys who are emerging.
Yep.
Right? It's not like, okay, maybe you keep him away from the threes.
Right. Yes.
Keep him away from the threes. So the threes aren't going to get one of the big problems I would say with teams is there's no chemistry between once your number 1, number 2, number 3 wide receivers are out there, then it drops off massively.
Yep.
Because they don't have any time with them. This is why people like Scotty Miller. People were shocked that Scotty Miller made the team last year. He made the team because guess what? He made plays for Brady. Guess who's the quarterback? And everyone's like, oh yeah, but insert name here, because you could probably do it with a few people, had a better preseason than him. Like Devin Tompkins had a better preseason than Scotty Miller. But who throws the ball to Scotty Miller?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. How many balls did Tom Brady throw in the preseason? Not fucking many. So does it fucking matter that Devin Tompkins had a fucking really good season, a really good preseason with a guy who's not going to throw him the fucking football? No, it means fucking nothing.
It means nothing. And
guys, matters throwing you the fucking football.
That's that politics.
What I'm trying to say is here, well, Kyle Trask is getting his little bit of one technique, because he does need that. Because hey, if Baker fucking fails, you got a guy ready to go in. Straight up, he's had one. You can't turn around and say he's not prepared, because this kid is 100% prepared. He will go into week 1 prepared to be the dude if he needs to be. That's what you get out of this.
Yep.
But you want to get this extra experience with the twos. Exactly. You're now your number one quarterback has experience with both sides, the bottom of his depth chart and the top of his depth chart. That's brilliant in my opinion. But it's down to fucking philosophy. Football's all about philosophy. And some people say, like, I'll just spend time with the ones. Yeah, what happens if your number 1 wide receiver goes down? Now someone else is going to come in and they don't have that much experience and they don't have that much time. And then you're going to kick that person's ass because they're not playing well. Mm-hmm. They had no time to gel with the team because Baker Mayfield spent his entire time with the ones.
Exactly, guys. Football's about assessment. You have to assess who on your squad. And like you said, it's all about adjusting. If Trask, all he does is play with Evans and all, then what is he going to do with Palmer? Can you imagine? We might not have even known who Palmer, his full potential, if we do that.
AJ, how many times does Mike Evans go off after he makes a catch and gets tackled?
What's up?
How often does Mike Evans make a catch, gets tackled, and then goes to the sideline?
It's frequent.
Every time he catches a football.
Yeah, especially if it's
I'll give it 75% of the chance, right?
Yeah.
Unless we're like deep in territory and we're moving quick, right?
Yep.
Point being is someone's going to replace him, and then all of a sudden Baker Mayfield's like, I've not spent any time with this dude. I don't know how he runs a slant. I don't know how he runs a crosser. I don't know how he runs this. I don't know how he runs that.
Yep.
So you get more. Look at it from your Joshua. You're looking at it as a player getting a lot of depth with a short group of players. Look at it getting a lot of width with more player potential. And that's always a good thing, because there's occasional times where players go out because they got a busted knee, or they landed funny, they twisted their ankle, they rolled their knee, or they rolled their ankle, or whatever. They're out for a minute, they're out for a quarter, or whatever. Someone's going to step up. Now you've got guys that Baker's played with and spent time with. That's a good thing. And then if Baker goes down, you've also got a guy who's played with the ones and played with the twos.
Mm-hmm. And that could be a good advantage, guys, because sometimes a defense, your opposing guys, they might say, okay, well, he's definitely not going to throw to him. If Evans goes out and let's say Palmer comes in, they might say, okay, he's definitely not going to go to him because he's fresh. Where if they have the same they've had chemistry together, Baker could say, fuck that. I already know what this guy's going to do, and I know what this defensive guy's going to do. You got the speed. Instead of going to all route, do a quick slant because he's going to bite. And now you can take it to the house probably. Yes, it's all about continuity, no matter who it is. But Giovanni, I see what you're saying here. Let me just, Giovanni, we got to pump the brakes. We ain't even in week 1 yet. He will make us. I think he will. But right now, we just got to take it one game at a time.
AJ's got us going. AJ's got us going at least 10. So, I'm not like putting shade on you there, AJ, because I completely. I'm one behind you. So,
right.
But Giovanni, it's very possible this team because you got to remember we're in the NFC. The NFC isn't the AFC. The AFC is absolutely stacked. It's insane how many good quarterbacks are. Right now, if someone told me who are the best quarterbacks in the NFC, AJ, who are the best quarterbacks in the AFC?
Only person I'm
the top five quarterbacks.
Top 5, you can go with Hurts. You can go with Hurts. Hurts, shit.
You gotta give Dak.
Dak would be still 3 or 4. I'll put
he's top 5. My point.
He's top 5, and that's not even good. Yes, the NFC is not stacked. That's why
when you pass those two guys, it becomes like head scratchers, and you can make arguments for other players being better than that player that you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
But realistically, it comes down to there's 3 players realistically from the quarterback position in the NFC that are super solid, and Derek Carr isn't one of them because Derek Carr. People forget this. I will point this out, and I always reiterate it every time we do the aftermath. AJ loves this, and I'm going to say it right now. Derek Carr was on a team that had Darren Waller. It had the leading rusher of the NFL of that season, and it also had a guy that a lot of people consider to be one of the best wide receivers in football in the last 5 years.
Yeah, Devontae Adams.
What was their record?
Wasn't they like 7-10 or something like that?
Irrelevant. Did they make the playoffs?
Nope, they didn't make the playoffs.
Did Derek Carr get benched for somebody else?
Yes, he did.
So, point, case, and let's seal that up and move the fuck on.
Facts.
It doesn't matter what the Saints have. It doesn't matter what the Saints have. He's had the opportunity to work with a top tier offense, and then some people will turn around to me and go, "Yeah, but he was handcuffed to Josh McDaniels." Josh McDaniels is the offensive mastermind that helped the Patriots win Super Bowls. You can turn around and say it's other people, but from an offensive standpoint, it was that dude. Not only that, remind me who's the offensive mastermind of the Saints? Oh yeah, they're a defensive run team.
Yep.
Dennis Allen. Who's he? Nobody. Let's move on.
Facts, and that's what I love. I want to just tell you guys that's why I say the Bucs can get between the 10 to 12 because the NFC is so up in the air. The Bucs can steal at least 1 to 2 games, and that with the stacked team we have, but we're healthy, we're devastating. And the Jets had to find out the hard way. I love the facts that I love what we did because the Jets really thought that they were just that hard knock shit got to them. They thought they were just gonna come in here and dominate the Bucs when in reality the Jets actually looked bad in this game because they had a few players making a few plays here and there, but the Bucs, they had their will. The biggest run the Jets had was that Zach Wilson shit, and that was because the third and second string were in there, but if that was the starters.
Occasionally, quarterbacks will make plays because guess what? It's a broken play. Mm-hmm. Everyone's looking at someone else. The quarterback scrambles are always the hardest to defend because they're off the cuff. They're just out there, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
It involves real good discipline because what it actually goes, and a lot of people don't realize this, it actually goes against a Todd Bowles defense. And do you know why?
Break it down.
Man coverage. What are you looking at in man coverage? You're looking at you're looking at your cat, right? The cat you're defending.
Yep.
Your eyes. So if he runs a vertical or he runs an out route or an in route, your eyes are following him like this. You aren't staring at no quarterback. No one's looking at the quarterback. So by the time you click on, shit, the quarterback's got the ball and he's running, he's already in motion at full speed. So he's going to gain something. And I will tell Buccaneers fans, that is the one of the weaknesses of a man coverage. And I'm not saying there are weaknesses to every coverage in football.
That's right.
There is no ironclad defense. And I say this in every single team I've joined. At the start of the season, I say, we're a 4-2-5. Well, my team is a 4-2-5 team. We run a 4-2-5. That 4-2-5, up and down America, has won championships. It's won state championships, regionals, whatever. It's also been winless. It's been break even. It's been everything in between. Do you know why? Because schemes don't make and break teams. Coaches do. Coaches teach the scheme, and you have layers in your scheme. The cover 2 defense, right? Coveted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Tampa 2. That scheme is still alive today. Now, you can't live off it because, and I don't even think the Buccaneers of 2002 actually lived off it. They used it. That was their base. And then they added more here or there. But you have rules in your base, so you can't be exploited. Because realistically, you run 4 verticals. Guess what? Someone's getting the ball. No, because you end up with a nickel or a dime set. Your nickel and a dime set has a rule in place where if a guy is starting to, if your read, which is your cap, is full power at you and he is running what's called a vertical release, you will follow him. You turn your cover 2 into cover 4 just because of the rules that you've put in place.
Absolutely.
That is coaching. That is understanding that your defense can be manipulated. It can be controlled. Now, that is a fundamental theory thing. It is not a realistic Jimmy's and Joe's. Jimmy's and Joe's changed the whole fucking scale because I can give you the most ironclad scheme known to mankind. And I'm pretty sure every defensive coordinator up and down the country could in America. However, if you got a DeAndre Hopkins or a Mike Evans, it doesn't matter what fucking scheme you're running, they will get the ball and they will succeed. You just need to take them out of the game and then force them to be on their, oh shit, we can't, they've covered Mike Evans, what we're going to do? That's when your other cats are going to come in. And this is why we all talk about like, oh my God, this Buccaneers team, at one point we had Mike Evans. Oh yeah, we had Mike Evans. We had Chris Godwin. We have Rob Gronkowski. We have who the fuck are you gonna cover? You can't double everyone. So you take the percentages away because you can. The only thing you can do is get when they're in this, they'll go to this guy. But you can't guarantee it, and that's what made the Buccaneers offense in that second year so lethal. Was no one knew who the fuck was going to get the ball because on any Sunday. One day, Mike Evans was getting it all. The next day, it was Gronkowski getting it all. Then it was Chris Godwin getting it all. Then it was, do you know what I mean? So it was, when you have that, it's all about the Jimmys and Joes when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
and
as
they say. You can coach them into your scheme.
Yep, so absolutely. And you're right. And you have to be able to have people to execute it. Coaching and scheme don't mean shit unless your players can execute it. The Tampa 2 was successful because Derek Brooks and they had a front 4 and they had the corners to do it. But the weakness in cover 2 is the middle. If Derek Brooks was slow and he had no awareness, you could shred that shit apart with middle passes and crossing routes all day. So you have to have the right players that can implement what you are trying to do. So yes, and that's why we are happy. I'm happy with what this defense was doing against the Jets because the Jets is that team where it's a lot of hype, but I don't see them. I see them 10 wins is the best case scenario. In actuality, I see them being between a 7 and 8 win team because the AFC is so stacked and within their own division. They have to go against the Bills, a team that's bound. They're Super Bowl. They're a team that wants to be in the Super Bowl. Then you have Miami, that sneaky playoff team. Then you have the Patriots, who still is under Belichick, and their defense is good.
Well, defensively, they're going to be good.
Yes.
So, I can see the games being the most boring games of football you'll ever watch. because it's going to be defense versus defense, right? Our game that we played against them was not exciting.
No, it
And
was
that's
not.
Coach Bowles versus Robert Saleh. Defense versus defense, right?
Yep.
There was just two hammers smashing at each other time and time again. Using, let's face it, play. I mean, I don't know what they play because I don't know their team, so I don't know how much of their ones they played or what have you. But using a very limited tool set. So they couldn't even be expansive with the tool set. It was just two people with giant clubs going, fuck you. And another one going, well, fuck you too. And that's what it was. And then we fucked them a little bit harder than they could fuck us. That's it.
Yes.
That's the way I saw that game.
The turnovers is what won the game for the Bucs because the fumble, the interception, that's key. That is a Bowles defense, the bend but don't break mentality. Where we're gonna let you march down, but we're gonna shut the shit down within the red zone or within the 20-yard, and we'll either make you settle for a field goal, or we will we will make you turn the ball over. And I know a guy like Bowles, sometimes in his mindset, it could be getting 3 points can be counterproductive for an opposing team. Like, shit, we just did all of that for measly 3 points, and they still are up, or they still have this game close. Because let's be real, everybody wants to they want to score on possessions so you can get up and keep your foot on the gas. But when you don't, and your offense, and you're throwing everything you have at a Bulls defense, and all you're coming away with is 3 points, or you don't come with anything at all but a punt, that can be frustrating. And yes, you're right. Bowles likes to suffocate people throughout the entire game. For Bowles, a guy like Bowles, if his offense can get him 14 points, that's what for him, for the most part, with his starters, that's what you need. That's all you need. It's almost Dungy-like. That's very Dungy-like. Dungy back in the 90s, it was, if the offense can get me 10 points, I'm good. If you can get me 10 to 13 points offense, we're good. He put a lot of pressure on the defense, and that's what Bowles is. Bowles is like, defense, you better do your job. I'll tell you one thing, Jets weren't running all over us like they said they was. The Bucs, even their second and third string guys, were stopping the runs. They were stopping runs. They were doing their job.
The way through, for sure.
Yes. Now, I want to go back to Palmer. I'm very excited about this guy. I see
he's 2 for 2. I hope he gets that third. And look, I can generally see him taking over Russell Gage. And you said to me, and I'm going to ask you now because we're in this space, and it's a safe space, of course. You said to me you wouldn't want to go down the route of a veteran because you were unsure about what you saw from Luke Getteke in the first preseason game. Has your mindset changed? Or are you more concerned, or are you less concerned? Tell me.
I'm at the point, well, what I saw yesterday, I would say I'm still a little concerned, but I'm not as much because I got to watch him. I didn't hear that much about him, which is a good thing. Now, this is what I think, and as you said, they were vanilla because it's preseason. So I really am not. I had to take it back and go, guys, AJ, this is preseason. They're not going to bring out all their bags of tricks yet. And again, these are not your starters. I'm ready to see what's going to happen when we get our starters in, because that is going to be what's going to tell everything. Hell, for all I know, Canals is sitting on some gold right now. Like, man, if they think this, I can't wait to see you guys when the regular season comes. You guys are going to be fucking – again, this is evaluation. We know what Tristan Wirfs is going to bring to the table. We know what Jensen will bring to the table. Right now, we want to know – we know what Leverett will bring to the table. We want to know what Cody Mock is going to bring to the table. We want to know what Getteke is going to do in this new position. So it's an evaluation and it's an assessment, guys. They know already who they are. These guys see these players every day. A lot of these coaches know who's going to be what, and they know who is a project in the works. I truly when I saw Getteke yesterday, I was a lot more impressed. You know, I'm like, okay, again, I liked what I saw with Tucker on that 4th and 1 when he broke out and he took it. Now, I love that because it was explosive, and I like that it was strong, and he picked his correct angles, and he was able to juke. The run game I think will be fine because if he does that, I know damn well Rashad White will do it better. Um, Again, when I watched it yesterday, I just wanted to see basically who was going to be the fourth receiver. I like Jarrett. I was not impressed with Moore because there was a pass that Trask threw that was perfect, and he just
Yeah.
dropped that shit, and that is inexcusable for a veteran. Jarrett was out here making acrobatic catches. I like that. So I was just basically looking at the line and who's going to be our fourth receiver. That was just me.
Mm. So just to clarify that John Wolford is fine.
Yay!
Stuff coming out is positive. He's feeling better, and he has returned with the Tampa Bay team. So everything's good from that perspective. Look, the wide receiver position is probably the easiest to count. The tight ends are more a scratcher for me because there's some players there. There's some real players there, and the thing is, they all offer different things, and that's what makes it more confusing because no one cares if a wide receiver can block realistically. Can he catch a football, right? When it's the tight ends, it's like depends what they value, right? If you value the guy who can catch like your you, then yeah, Coke Heath is your dude. And if you value that a guy who can do a little bit of everything, then Kate Otton's your dude. And if you value the receiving guy, you know what I mean. So there's more to it. That's gonna be an interesting battle for me. That's the one I'm interested to see. And the cornerbacks and the safeties. Everything else, I'm pretty much comfortable with what I think we're gonna pump out.
Yeah. Now, one guy that I have to evaluate, you already know where I'm going with this. Number 27, McCullum. Lord have mercy. I
he had a better this game, but I don't think he's great yet.
No, that's my thing. It's frustrating with him because I see certain moments, but then for the most part, when big plays happen, it's always usually I see him falling down or he's behind someone. I'm like, shit, man. Do you know how many times I saw the Jets where it's like, oh, the Bucs got him, and then this guy just runs the opposite way. I'm trying to figure out whether he's a coverage corner or is he going to be a physical corner. I don't think that I'm not sure if the Bucs have even figured out how to place him because they always talk about his athleticism. He's the tallest guy out there, but then you need to find out. Somebody needs to sit down and ask him, what do you think that you do best? Are you more a pressing corner or are you more of a Jamel Dean-esque type of guy? Because something's got to give. I feel like even he is confused with what he can do.
They're still trying to work that shit out with him, yeah?
And that's what I'm saying. And you can see it. And that's my biggest concern for him. I actually think Delaney is balling. I like his intensity.
I've been a big fan of this kid for a while because he just kind of came out of nowhere, had a little bit of safety, and then he's been this kind of like nickel guy, he played a little bit of everything. So I think they get a lot of production from him from a lot. His skill set is not great at one thing, but it's pretty solid at a lot of different things. And I think that's what they like about him. But if they can get him to become super solid at the nickel position, they're set. That's what you need.
Oh, I agree. And he's a fighter. I do like the fact that he's the get it done guy. I like that. And there was a number 37. I liked watching him too. I don't know if he's a corner or a safety, but he was getting things done. I just like, if you're going to mess up, at least make a good solid tackle. Now, McCullum he was making some strong tackles. He got better, especially with wrapping at running backs. I do like that. So I'm not giving.
Sorry, it's 37. Did you say?
Yes.
We don't have a 37 on the roster, as I can see. Oh no, sorry, Anthony Chesley.
Yeah, Chesley. I like Chesley. He was going for it too. But this again, Buck fans.
I like Isaac Keenan, number 16.
I remember him. He was good too.
I hope he gets. I hope he gets a roster spot. I
See,
really do.
but Buck fans, this is why we love the mentality of no, you're gonna fight for a spot because everybody is out there looking to make something, and that's gonna actually help your team because we've already talked about we Slick and I have talked already about how the dynasty that could have been with the Bucs fell due to a lot of shit, egos, a lot of things that we'll never know about. But our speculation is a lot of shit. A lot of some of these guys, like the Devin Whites of the world, when they said, "Well, we'll turn it on, we got to turn it back on when we're because we were winning by so much." That should never go in your mind. I don't give a damn what happens. You could be up 90 to 0 in this 1 minute on the fourth quarter. You still play your heart out no matter what. And I do think by that 2021 midseason, when we were doing so well, the Bucs were like, man, we got this shit. We got this shit in the bag. And then that's when you don't stay hungry, that's when things can go to shit. Because that's why Belichick got those rings, of course, because of Brady. But Belichick had the mindset of, what the fuck y'all celebrating for? We ain't done shit yet. Oh, coach, we're 12-0. So are we 1-0 in the Super Bowl yet? No. All right, we got work to do. I don't give a shit about that. What do you and if hell, he's the kind of guy like, you better not be having fun right now. You better be miserably. Belichick wanted you to be miserably humble. That's what his guy. You could be up and winning. If you don't go and say, well, we haven't done anything yet. We're okay. You damn near have to be mellow person in his presence. And of course, Arians is different. He's the laid back man. We winning, we doing things. I got a cigar and I got whiskey in my hand. Hey, everything's gonna be right. And if you fuck up, then he'll say some shit. But you have to stay hungry.
Do impressions of NFL coaches.
Oh yeah, I know. I love Aaron's like, yes, he ain't going nowhere yet. I love that's Arians.
I don't know I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he does every NFL coach. He'll just do it as one, and he'll just sit there with a camera like me and you, and just put the camera on, and he'll go to it, he'll be underneath it like Bill Belichick, and he'll be like,
yeah. Look, if you just want to be Belichick is the easiest. Just get a fucking hoodie.
Like the quarterback's gonna make the pro.
Yeah.
Makes the pro believe game. So
and he talks out the side of his mouth a little bit. Well, everybody knows this, and yeah.
They do one with Bruce Arians finding out that, and I can't do this justice, but I will do my best attempt. Was he's like the phone goes bring. He's like, who is this? Tommy? What? Oh fuck! I'm retired. Fuck yeah! Woo! Just downs a bottle of fucking whiskey and just goes, we're gonna win the whole motherfucking thing again. Woo! Let's go, Tommy.
Yes.
I'll send it to you. I'll find it because I can't do it.
I feel you. No, but that's why Buck fans like this is why competition is really good, especially for a team like this. We don't have to rebuild, like both said. We're resetting.
We're not rebuilding. We're not. Hey, we would be rebuilding if we were in the AFC. That's a fact. I don't care what it says. We are rebuilding if we're in the AFC. Any one of the AFCs. You can go AFC South, Northwest, fucking spatial. We are building. We're rebuilding because it's just how we are very lucky that we are a conference that isn't full of offensive juggernauts in the sense of quarterbacks. That's a fact.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. We are very fortunate. And again, this could be a blessing in disguise for us because if we continue to get the experience, then then when we do play them, if we get to the Super Bowl, then it won't be as bad. But right now, this team we have what it takes. We just have to make sure that we are peaking at the right time. The Bucs in 2020, after that bye week, they peaked at the right time and shit was going. And that's what the Bucs are going to have to do this season coming up. I told you guys, right now, the Bucs, if no injuries, this is a dangerous ass team because the NFC is, look, it ain't that many. Hold on. Let me try something. I think I couldn't hear you, Slick. Hold on one sec.
I was whispering.
Oh.
Wide open, but
It is wide open. It is wide the fuck open.
I fooled you. No, it's all, but it's wide open. I mean, we're all delusional because we love our team, right? That's a fact. Every single person who supports a team should always believe that they can win the Super Bowl until they can't. That's my true philosophy as a fan. You should always believe it until you can't do it.
Yeah.
Because that makes the ride more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And if you don't, okay, you have like layers of expectation. So your first expectation is to win the Super Bowl. Now, of course, if you're the Tennessee Titans, you're probably not going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you can think you can, because until you're mathematically away from the playoffs, you have an opportunity, right?
Yeah. Right.
And that's the beauty of football, man. People don't realize, like, all you need to do is be in the conversation, to be a part of the conversation. And that's
Facts.
who the Buccaneers are. The Buccaneers are still a part of the conversation. We've gone nowhere. And I look at this football team and go, well, okay, we lost Tom Brady, so we lose experience.
Mm-hmm.
We get rid of a guy that didn't really suit Tom Brady's skill set when it came down to like where Tom Brady was at that time. We then go and get a younger guy who's an eager beaver, full of energy, believes in a completely different system, very schematical, very what's the right word I want to go with? Likes to play the percentages, likes to play they do this, they do that, they do that. He's very focused in that kind of stuff. He's very modern. And if one thing that tells me about football is the more modern you are, you're going to get success down the line. Now, whether his modern is the model that everyone's going to use, like for a while, everyone used a certain style of offense, right? Yeah. Bruce Arians came in and just punched it in the face. That's all that happened, right? That's what happened. Bruce Arians does not follow the fucking model that all these coaches, San Francisco, the Rams, and what have you. He doesn't follow that shit. He's like, fuck that. I'm fucking doing my shit and I'm doing it my way. And he got to do it because he had a superstar team to do it. Yep. Right? With these other guys, they're schemers. They're like fucking, they're like fucking Monty Burns from The Simpsons trying to figure out how they're going to make more money. Right? That's style. Yeah. Smithers. Yeah. You can imagine, just think, just take your mind back. Just come with me on a journey and think of the Rams in their Super Bowl. I'm sure at one point McVay was like,
"Yes, what can I do? What can I do to fuck with this team?"
He's a schemer, and that's fine. But maybe Dave Canales could be the start of a whole new trend, and we don't know until we see it. And I'm hoping, and I'm gonna back. I like what I hear. I like the fact that he has an answer for every question in every fucking press conference, and he's just like, oh, well, that's not fantasy football, which is what we've had in the past.
Yeah.
Complete disrespect. And now we've got a guy who's like explaining himself. Like, oh, no, I do this because of this. That means he has conviction in what he does, which means, okay, yeah, he could be bad. He really could, generally. He could be bad. But I'd rather a coach that believes in his system and how he does it than have a coach who's just like, yeah, well, we're not fantasy football.
I agree. He has a sense of accountability, and that's what I look for. Hold on. But Cornette, I see what you're saying about you're worried about, my man said he's worried about Jensen and swelling his knee. I get it, the line. We discussed that. And what were you saying here?
His swelling his knee is his swelling of his knee. So it's not going to change tomorrow. It's not going to change the next. It is what it is. Exactly. And there's people, maybe we should go and take surgery. Hey, the option was the option on the table. They went down that route. You've got to understand that it's also part of the player to make that decision. And sometimes going under the knife can be scary. Sometimes going under the knife doesn't always yield the results. And it all depends who spoke to that person. They might go, you know what? If you do this, and this, you'll be absolutely sound. You'll be sound as a dollar pound. You'll be good. You'll be rock and rolling. Good. You've been sold. So you're going to go, okay, I just rehab.
Yep. And Ben, I challenge this. You know what's the big cure to that too? To injuries? Winning. You think Jensen's gonna give a shit if, let's say, the Bucs start out 4-0. God, that would be sexy. But if the Bucs are 4-0, I don't think Jensen's gonna give a shit about a swelling knee. He's gonna play through that shit. Evans, look, guys, most of the players throughout the entire season are never 100%. The best that you can, worst case, the best case scenario you can hope for is that they're at 80 or 70. These guys play fucked up a lot. Evans will tell you sometimes I play with the bruised thigh or whatever, or they're trying to heal. Winning cures all that other stuff. So Ben, you are right. The offensive line could be a concern, but we won't know until we see them in the regular season. For all we know, and then you got
this early. Like I want to write my team. I want to write my team up mid-season.
Exactly.
Like when it looks unachievable.
Yeah.
Until I'm going to be a shouter, I'm going to be a believer. Until it's unbelievable, because that's my coaching philosophy. My coaching philosophy is like reach for the stars. You might just get out of space.
I agree. I like that mindset. That's a good mindset, and that's what I'm saying. The Vikings, I don't see their
on Earth, and it fucking hurts. Gravity hurts. Gravity fucking hurts. But it is what it is. It ain't gonna change.
I agree. So I hear what you're saying, but Slick. I mean, yeah, but Ben, I was slick too. During the lost years, I was like, Bucs got this. Bucs can do this, and they'll have a chance. And then
Okay, with their time. Look, when I look back at those years, because hindsight is a big thing, right? And I'm a huge believer. Is a lot of people use hindsight as a way of going, oh yeah, we should have done this, and we're gonna look at every single draft from let's say 2018 all the way back to 2007, which is when we were last in a playoff game, and go, oh, we could have done this, 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 and life is full of shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. So it's facts, right? We've all dated a girl that we didn't want to date. Like in hindsight, look at her and go, yeah, that shit was not a good idea. But at the time, you were like, she's my girl. I love her. She's the one. I feel everything. She makes me feel more. Maybe not. But my point being is, being a state of euphoria where we believe things that we don't. And I think being a fan of a sports team kind of gives you that a little bit, because you want them to succeed. Your want is bigger than. Otherwise, you just come off as negative all the time, and that's not good. I've been around guys, and I shit you not. I was friends with a dude, little bit too. I was gonna say a little bit too right wing for myself, and we parted ways. But during the season where we won the Super Bowl, we would chat and we'd send each other voice memos and what have you. This is before I got into all this stuff, and he was like, "I just don't believe this team has the stones to win anything, because I think they got a has-been Tom Brady, and he's full of shit, and he's playing like shit right now. This team is shit. We're just scraping wins, and when it's not very good, I just don't see it for us." And guess what? That motherfucker changed his tune once we won a Super Bowl. Winning cures all. So you can be that negative ninny. You can. Of course you can. But what purpose does it serve? Because some people just like to be right online, yeah? So some people are like, oh, yeah, Bob, listen, Palmer's a bust, or Palmer's a stud, or whatever. You make a comparison. Right now, all I can say is Palmer looks really good, and I hope he adds and keeps adding, and he looks like he could be special.
Yes.
But I'm a realist. Is the glass half full? No, the glass has just got a half amount of water in it. 50% of the water is in the glass. That's how I look at it. That's a fact. There's no changing that.
Yeah.
But there are some people going, no, I don't know if he'll make the squad, or I don't know if he did this. You're just being negative, right? And okay, yeah, you can affirm yourself. If we have a shit season and you're negative, you can go. Told you so. Great.
Yeah.
Like, hang your hat on the fact that you thought your team was going to be shit. I would sit here and talk complete bullshit with my man AJ Turner and go, not deluded enough to think we're going to win a Super Bowl, but deluded enough to think that we could win and be successful. Because I generally do think we can. It's not off the cards right now. Until he turns around to me and says, till I see us going, shit, we're like fucking 0-5. Then I might believe that we're not going to do anything. And then I'm just enjoy the ride because I'm like, well, the wins that we do get, I'm going to make sure I enjoy them.
And then
and I'm going to go, I'm just going to enjoy it.
And we can chop it up because that's what we do. Then we can say, we can point the blame of, hey, this is why we're not successful. This is what's happening. We did it last season, guys. We told you. I told y'all Byron wasn't shit. But people were saying, no, you got to give him a chance. I'm like, he's had a chance since Winston. He's garbage. Nah, well, he called these plays during the Super Bowl winning season. If you really believe that, then Santa is real too, huh? You really think
he gave him a shot, and this is the beauty of football. Like you've got genuine people out there that we've had on our show who believe that he was forced out in Byron Leftwich. That the Byron Leftwich was forced out. He was like kind of a martyr, so to speak. And they generally thought you were shit, and they moved the fuck on, and that's fine. Like you can have schools of thought. That's what makes football so much fun because there is no 100% right. There's definitely a wrong way. There's definitely a wrong way. There's no 100% right way when the season's this like kind of early, and that's what I love about ball.
Yeah, I'm an obsessor, Slick.
With like the Jason Swades, we get there with Ben, and everyone has an opinion. Like, I don't know about this person. I don't know about that person. I don't know about this offensive scheme. That's fine.
Yep.
There's going to be people. Me and AJ seem to be. We're quite connected in the sense of we both quite like what we're seeing from Dave Canales. We both like what we're seeing from this team so far. Now we know that everything that everyone's saying from a media point of view, when you hear like players going, "Oh, this is the most open I've ever been in my entire career. Oh, I've never seen Mike Evans do this before, and I've never seen that." We know that's just fucking talk because it matters on the field. I've seen it all before with every player that we've had under the sun. Here we go. Jameis Winston is really leading, and he is really the heartbeat of this team. Okay, that's fine. Then we go to the next one. Oh, he has taken it to the next level. He's constantly studying. He's like a fucking librarian right now. The amount of fucking time he spends in the fucking theory room and try and get shit right. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything until we see the product on the field. We know that they're gonna say, "Oh, Dave Canales is fucking saying every right word." Because guess what? When Mike Smith was a fucking bum for us, did Lavonte David turn around and go, "This guy is fucking shit"? No, because he's in the scheme. This is his team. He's gonna try and make it work. Yeah, but you have this going. This scheme, I really think we're gonna do some things. I think we're gonna make a name for ourselves in this league.
And you gotta be professional and have class. Again, everybody's watching. What if when Mike Smith did get removed from his duties, but a new ownership, a new coaching people come in and they see that you have a shitty attitude when things don't go your way, get him out of here. We don't need that shit fucking up our locker room. And I want to say this. I hear you, Ben. I want to read that. I hear you, but sometimes you got to know when your team isn't going to be playoff from the start. I think this team doesn't have a chance, especially in the C at the lost years. Now, Ben, I feel you. Ben, first of all, I appreciate you chiming in. I love it. You got to come back on. Come back and talk to us. I'll say this, though. Assessing and being pessimistic are two different things.
Ben out. He has like a million different shows covering fucking wrestling, baseball, probably ice hockey, fucking everything. This chat has got it. So all the way the hills the mountains of Las Vegas, this guy has got some nuggets that he can give you. So always check out Ben Cornett. He's a good dude, and he big fan of our show. He's always pumping us out. So we love our bit of Ben Cornett.
Thank you, Ben. And I'll say this because I had to get on people about this one in assessment because they were saying well, AJ, well, look at it's not all Byron. And I said, okay. I said, guys, I'm just gonna do a hypothetical guess. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I guarantee you I'm not. Let's see how fast Byron gets a job when he's let go. That was it. Motherfucker, he was still unemployed because I assessed it.
So I agree, and this is Ben. You're completely the same philosophy as me. I will just enjoy the ride, and I will enjoy the wins when we get wins, and I'll commiserate the losses with AJ here when we do the aftermath or and what have you. That's just part of the parcel of being a sports fan, right? But unless you sit there and go, I'm only going to support fucking juggernauts, which some people do. I love the fact that I support a team that everyone said was shit, and I used to get fucking shit in my team when I played, shit in my team when I fucking started coaching, and then I got to smile and go, my team won. I had messages from my players going, dude, enjoy this. Like, fucking enjoy this, because... And I did. You got it, right? But there's a level of recognition that comes into it. And it's like, sometimes you just got to enjoy the occasional win. Because I will. And I will fucking mock the shit out of that team. I will still be happy. I won't be as happy, but I'll still be happy if the Buccaneers win 2 games. That's 2 days of happiness, regardless. I don't give a shit. And then I can sit there and go, okay, we have an opportunity to go and draft a high-end quarterback. What that really looks like is a completely different kettle of fish. But I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, the Buccaneers can reach for the sky. Of course they can. But at the same time, this season can look completely different, and we go, oh, we've only won 2 games. I don't see it because I just think this defense is too good to be just turn around and go, yeah, it's. I see us winning and losing a minimum of. I see us winning a minimum of 6, a minimum, because it's stepping stone for the offense. The offense is too new. Defense will win us games. I generally believe that.
Slick, you're on it. Slick,
Tom Brady to go and score one of those wins. We also don't have a Tom Brady fucking free and out in every 10 seconds. So,
yeah,
let's just, yeah.
You're on it, guys. We've asked these questions before. Imagine a mobile quarterback in Baker against the Cowboys last season. That shit could have turned the entire season around. And the reason why, Ben, I'm the way that Slick is, we have too much of a talented roster. Now, if Evans, Godwin were out for the entire season, then yeah, I would go shit. That's going to be a challenge. But at this point right now, we're at full strength. Let's see what happens. I'm like Slick. The defense is just way too talented. Now, if injuries happen, yes. For me, the ceiling that I have is the Bucs make a deep run in the playoffs. If they do that, I will be so satisfied. That would, to me, be a great successful season. Yes, Ben.
Absolutely bare minimum. And so if we can get this offense on point, I think there's something there. Now, if the offense doesn't succeed, then you need to evaluate why it failed. Did it fail because Dave Canales isn't a good offensive coordinator? Or did it fail because the run game was poor? Or did it? And that is my biggest concern going into the season. I'm not too sure about this run game yet. And everyone's going to turn around at me and say, Rachaad White. I haven't seen Rachaad White run a season yet. So I'm not willing to just put a crown on his head. I hope to God, because I really like him. I like everything I've seen from him. He's got bite. He's got a punch to him. He's got a one cut to him. He seems to have everything. He's like Rojo, but with nuts.
Yes. Man got heart, and I agree.
Have a great running back. If you have a shit offensive line, it's not going to make a fucking difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest concern from an offensive standpoint going into the season is I'm hoping Baker will minimize turnovers. If he does that, we can have a good season. Can this run game be efficient enough that we don't have to keep relying on Baker to make too many plays? Not that I don't believe that he can't make plays. It's just like he has a reputation for making picks. Bad run game, guy who throws picks is a recipe for disaster. So I'm looking at this going, scheme, get that run game running, and then not rely on Baker to make the plays all the time, and he has to make plays here and there, we could have a recipe of just having a solid offense, just a solid offense. Doesn't have to be, like me and you've said before, doesn't have to blow the doors off it. Top 15, top 20, with a top 5 defense, we can go and win playoff games. We won't win a Super Bowl with it because eventually you're going to go against a team that can kick the shit out of you just as hard as you can kick your defense can kick the shit out of them. Yep. Someone will break down the point.
Agreed.
I believe it.
I'll tell you this.
And that's so positive.
Yep. And Ben, I'll give you a hot take. If Palmer comes all along and he continues to level up and stay and can be as consistent as he has these past 2 preseason games, the Bucs offense will be a problem. And Baker can be an average quarterback and he'll be a problem because now you got 3 legit weapons on offense that you have to take account for. We already know Evans is going to be double regardless. You double him, and with Palmer's speed at 4.33, you have to mind that. Otherwise,
bring out K. Dotton.
Yeah. K. Dotton. Hell, you can use Rashad White in the pass.
Plays that he made where he caught the ball like 3 yards or a couple of yards short. He just pushed through. I was really for his production. That's what I was really pleased to see, that he just caught balls behind the line of scrimmage and just punched them through. And he's like, "Oh, this is 3rd down and fucking 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 or whatever. 3rd and I don't give a shit." Catches the ball and just punches it through to get the extra yard and just dive through. I love that shit.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you, and that's why I just say this right now.
Different.
Yep, Bucs are in the right place. They're looking up. All right, let me give you, because I'm gonna wrap this up for me because I got to get some rest for work. Let me give you your final. If you had to give your final grade for the entire Bucs versus Jets game, what would it be?
That's tough because I'd like to see a little bit more firepower, but it's so limited with the team that they put out. I'm going to give it a B+ because the defense, doesn't matter what level you give them, they still gave you consistency. That tells me, and it tells me in my heart, in my being, and everything that I am as a football fan, is this defense is still going to be good, from whether it's the fucking starters to the mid-tiers to the end tiers. This defense has a philosophy and everyone is fucking following it. And I love that because right now, didn't matter. Hey, you gotta remember this kid, that Macaulay Culkin looking fucking Kinder Egg motherfucking looking piece of shit that they put out there, the MILF Hunter, that's a starter. He was a starter last year. We did not play someone who started football last year against the Jets, and we still beat them. That's how I look at it. They put out their starter. He won't beat Aaron Rodgers out, but he was their starter last year for multiple games, and we made him look like shit without our starters in for most of the game. No Antoine Winfield, no Shaq Barrett. That's all I can say is this defense is super solid. I'm super pleased with it. I can't wait to see it game 1. And hey,
facts. Everything you just said, I give it a B. The offense did what they could do, and that's fine. Defense to me is where I liked it.
Well, but I think with what they had out there, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, they did what they could, and Trask took advantage. I'm proud because he fought because he knew that's what he needed. That's it, So with that being said, I got it. But guys, Buck fans, I really do appreciate you guys for kicking it with us on this Sunday night. It is always check in on Bucs the Aftermath. You can find us on Twitter, YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. All that good stuff. And then look, guys, I'm gonna be making my own my podcast is going to be popping up again soon. It's about Buck in Time. Also, when you check out my link on Instagram, AJ Turnup, I got merchandise that I got out here. So take a look.
Nice, that's all.
Yep. So
you might be in for a good price.
Exactly. And and Gedeke, I'm going to give Gedeke this. If you play at a Tristan Wirfs level at the right tackle, you get a free, endless lifetime supply of my stuff for free.
Wow, there you go.
But yes, as always, guys, thank you. Tune in, give us your ideas, comment, and shout out to everybody. And always, go Bucs.
Go Bucs. I'll see you soon, brother.
See you soon, my man.
Okay, guys, that is the end of the show, and thank you for joining us. It's much appreciated. We're going to start going back into the old school aftermath, which is literally a byproduct of literally the game is just finished the day before, so we had 24 hours to digest it. How do you feel? Sometimes we're a little bit angry, sometimes we're a bit happier, sometimes with this, sometimes with that, and then we have a little bit more clarity down the line. Maybe sometimes, maybe we are just as bitter. I want to thank Ben Cornett. Always go check out Ben Cornett's stuff. He has Face the Heels. Like I can't. He has so many names for shows. I can't remember them all. But he's an absolute stud, and from Las Vegas, Nevada, our man. But for me and AJ Turner, thank you for joining us. It's much appreciated, and I look forward to this final preseason game. We'll talk about it this time, the same bad channel, same bad place, same bad time. We'll discuss the finals, and we'll be talking about who makes the team, who doesn't make the team. But till then, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs.